Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Crossover Deep Dive. Today, I am here with the Queenz of Piano. We have Jennifer Wright and Pauline Grope. Hi, ladies. Thank you for being here.
Hello. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, thanks. We're happy to be here.
I have been listening to your fantastic new album, Piano Cosmos, and I know you guys are touring. There's a lot of exciting things. We're going to get into that all today. But can I ask you to start with a little bit how you both began doing music? Because I know you have two interesting stories as individuals before you formed this group. So who would like to speak first on their journey to date?
Okay, yeah, I started playing the piano at the age of 5. My sister was ill, and then I jumped in for her lesson, and I liked it very much, and so I I kept on, and yeah, then I studied the piano in Münster first, and then in Cologne, and yeah, 2 years ago, Jenny reached out to me, and then we met the first time, and now we're playing together.
Were you playing in a classical style, Pauline, when you were training, or did you do different kinds of things?
I did the classical way, classical piano, and also classical, opera singing. But yeah, I like to have a look into other styles of music.
And if I'm not since you were young, okay. You're also a doctor, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I studied
How did you
medicine.
manage those two together? That's quite a big difference, a great difference, but.
Yeah, I think you have to plan everything. And yeah, if there's enough, you like it enough, then it's possible. But it's a full schedule.
For sure, for sure. Jennifer, with you, did you also start studying as a young child?
Yes, I started to play the piano at 6, and it came because my mother was a music teacher, and music was everywhere in our family. And I studied classical piano first, but later I also studied jazz singing, and that's why we mix the different styles together. But the classical part is always in my heart, I would say.
Would you say with jazz, because they're doing like so many different scales and everything, was it easy to learn, or was it more difficult just to learn all the different modes and everything that they're using as the basis for the improvisation?
I think it was at the beginning, it was a very different approach because in classical music, of course, you play after the sheet, and it's very like a classical way of learning the piano. And the jazz studies, it was very much very more freely and improvisation, and it was a total different approach. But I think put these things together, and also the way of thinking about music and feeling about music together is also the reason why we do all these different genres in our program.
It's interesting you mentioned singing, and I think, Pauline, you sing as well. So I was just thinking last night about this interview, and I think as instrumentalists, you have so much to show the interpretation just through the emotion, because with singers, we can use a little bit of the lyrics, right, to be very explicit about the message we're trying to get across. But when you're doing it on the piano, you have to really let us feel it. So did you have like any inspirations growing up with piano? I know that a lot of classical piano is very a little bit more reserved in the performance style, but you said you enjoyed many kinds of music. So who were your inspirations when it came to emotional performance style, things like that?
Oh, it's a difficult question. I think, there are some pianists who I like very much. For example, Hélène Grimaud as a classical pianist, but also the energy of some pop stars. because there's a big difference in the style you do it on the stage, because I think in the classical music there's the big point of emotions, and in the pop music you have the energy, and to reach the audience is a big difference. But the mix of both is really interesting, and you can combine it really. Yeah, it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Your music certainly has a great vibe to it, I feel like. Jennifer, you're going to go next.
Mm-hmm. I really love Victor Borge. Of course, I also like the classical pianists like Hélène Grimaud, or Martha Argerich. I grew up with many recordings of Martha Argerich, but I like Victor Borge and his funny way of playing the piano, and like the musical comedy was a big inspiration also for our program and for that style of bringing like that show effect in our program.
Can you tell us a little bit about how Queenz of Piano came to be? Because I know, Pauline, you said that Jennifer invited you. But Jennifer, when you first started the group, what was your inspiration? How did you get started with Queenz of Piano?
It all started very classically. We studied a classical piano duet at the Conservatory in Music in Germany. But we also tried from the very beginning of our work to always to integrate some modern style. Like, for example, we tried to do tap dance while playing the piano. We did our own arrangements with classical music, and it was a process that started quite classically, but integrated many different genres over the time. And now it's a piano show that combines classical music, pop music, and our aim is to show that classical piano music is bold, is interesting, and it's much more than just piano music. It's a show with different. We have the show effect. We have like singing. We show that the piano music is fun.
And from what I've seen in your music videos or your videos of your show, you use multiple instruments, right? So you'll each have your own piano, but it seems like you have different electronic pianos. Tell us a little bit about your setups, and of course, beautiful lights going off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have the two pianos, but we also have like electric pianos where we can do like the electric things, and we have synthesizers, but we also use the grand piano for different sounds, like plucking the strings. We play like percussion instruments, and that is why we can integrate different sounds into our show. We also have a guitar that's a mixture between a guitar and a keyboard, and we use this for solos like electric guitar solos. For example, in our version of Eye of the Tiger, Pauline plays this guitar solo in the middle of the stage. And we also play with like a little melodica. We do different funny things with these little instruments.
And how did you learn those techniques, like plucking the piano for different sounds? Was it just experimentation, or did you kind of see it done?
It was a mixture. It was also a process. At the beginning, we tried many different materials on the piano. For example, we tried to put some stones on the strings of the piano, and we tried this sound, and then we noticed, oh, it's for touring, it's quite not so clever to use the stones because of the heavy heavy things to carry. But then we try to the wooden things, and we now we have a different setup. But it was process. Over the years to try out and figure out what works best.
And how was it when you first played together? Would you say your skills are very similar, or are they more complementary, so you both kind of have different skills and you lead on each other for those things?
Yeah, I think you can every time learn from each other, because Jenny did the jazz studies, for example, and we had different teachers. So I think it's every time you meet other musicians, you can learn, something from each other. And then everyone has its own situations. For example, with the guitar, or for example, a singing solo, and it's a good combination, and also an experimentation to look, what's the best for each other.
And from your social media, it just seems like you two have a lot of fun together wherever you go. You're genuinely enjoying it.
Yeah, that's true. We have a lot of fun, and especially when we travel together, we have many time to spend together and to explore different cities, and we also always combine it with some social media content creation, and take our pianos. We have like foldable pianos, and we go through the city, for example, Lisbon, and we create some content and have a lot of fun.
So let's come back to that, because I know you've done these extraordinary music videos, and we'll have to talk about how those get done. But first, let's go into your new album, because we mentioned it before, and obviously this is exciting period. It's been released I think the 15th or the 13th. So it's your new baby out there in the world. Tell us about the inspiration for Piano Cosmos.
Yeah, the inspiration, it came with the very first idea of putting together the prelude of Bach, second prelude, together with Aerodynamic by Daft Punk. This was the first piece where we thought about, and on the album you find different songs. It's some are just classically, but with synthesizers, with a soundscape that reminds us of cosmic sounds. And then we do, of course, mashups, like we combine Coldplay songs, something just like this, and we combine it with Vivaldi. And we also have our own compositions on the album, and the Piano Cosmos. The idea is to show our personal universe of our piano music we like to play. It's different pieces we always had in mind to do, and also to show that piano music is a big universe. It can sound different. You can create different sounds with the piano. So it's like our aim is to show that piano is a wide range, and it's not always classical and like the way we know it so far. So it's like classical music for the next generation.
And I believe I read that one of your goals is to, not only show that the piano can do all these different things, but to bring people together. And so a theme like this, where you're bringing the traditional and the new, you're definitely getting a lot of different types of people. So what kind of audiences do you get in your crowds when you're doing your shows?
Yeah, I think our audience is very diverse, from young people to old people, and everyone's celebrating together. And we are really happy about that, because we want to bring generations together, and especially the younger generation, to enjoy classical music. And then you have the classical music lovers, and also people who enjoy going to pop concerts. And so it's a mixture of people.
Something for everybody. Can you tell us about recording? It seems like you had quite a lot of collaborators and people from all around the world. So how do you pick the people that you want to collaborate with? Do you have a team that you normally work with as like a producer, or is every time you're trying to do different sounds, you're doing something new?
For this album, we tried different producers, but at the end, we worked very close with one producer here in Munich, which lives quite close to our home. And we created, over the time of the production of the album, we created a somehow our unique sound, because he works very much with different synthesizers, and he understands the project very well to focus the piano, but also to integrate the modern production sounds. And this is David Schoch is his name, and yeah, this was kind of the main producer for this album.
Well, what does the timeline look like when you're putting together a project like this, an album? Is it quite short, like you have all the ideas, you go in and you just do a couple days recording, or is it spread out over the course between touring?
I think for this album, it started more or less 2 years ago, and it's a process of arranging the songs we picked for 2 pianos. Then we try to integrate the production sounds. We sometimes we skip ideas, but all in all, I think it's about 2 years that it takes to have the album done.
And now when you bring this show, you mentioned all the synthesizers, everything you've put into it. When you bring it to a live show, do you pare it down, or are you able to bring some of those other sounds with you? Like, I don't know if you can program them into your keyboard and bring them, or...
Yes, we bring it on the stage as well. We have the different types of pianos, for example, the synthesizers, and there we do the electric sounds we also hear on the album. We have like 3 different synthesizers we have in the show. So it's the stage setting is quite, it's the 2 pianos in the middle, but we also have the electric piano. So it's kind of 5 different keys on the stage to get all these production sounds done.
So you have a couple different ways that you cross over on the album. You have, for example, Beethoven, you're doing for Elise, one of the most loved piano pieces, and you're making it more modern. And then I think you also have Lady Gaga, and I don't know why I pronounce it so weird, but you're doing, that one adding more of your background to it. So can you walk us through maybe the For Elise, some of the elements that you brought to it, and then the Lady Gaga piece?
Yes, I would. The Elise arrangement, we started with trying out the different harmonies, because the melody is the same, but the harmonies we were influenced by Hans Zimmer, by Interstellar. This is also has the idea was to get a link to the cosmic world, and this is why we chose Interstellar as the harmonic base for our version of Elise.
Okay.
And we put these cosmic sounds of synthesizers and like some very soft beats to it, so that we have this modern flair. And at the end, it's a mixture of the classical piece we know, the melody, but in a total different way, regarding the harmony and the sounds. So for us it combines tradition and modernism and future sounds we have.
Awesome. So now let's go a little bit to those music videos that we've mentioned, because you talked about having a foldable piano. Some of these locations you go to, I think it was like Ireland. How are you getting the pianos there? Are you bringing those smaller pianos, or are you having them airlifted in? I've heard some crazy stories. So tell us about some of the music videos from this album.
Our idea was always one time to go into the desert and do a music video there. And it's always the thing with the 2 grand pianos, it's too heavy and it's a lot of organization. And we always wanted to find a solution for this. And then we Googled, and we met one company that builds grand pianos, but like very easy to build up. It's like Wagner E-pianos is the company called.
Okay.
And it's a wooden like you can put the electronic piano in it, but it has the case of the grand piano. And they flew together with us to Dubai because they were designed in Dubai, and it's an architect that designed these grand pianos, and they very much supported us for these music videos. And then we got up very early at 2 in the night. They helped us to set up these 2 grand pianos in the desert, and then we did like 3 days in a row.
Wow.
And did all the music videos. This was one very big project, and the other project was going to Ireland, because we did a cruise there and we brought the pianos with us, and we organized everything. We organized the filmer. We had very nice black sand beach, but one thing was really heavy. We had really bad weather on that day. We wanted to do the video shoot. It was raining. It was like 10 degrees and very windy, but we did it, and we were freezing a lot, but it was totally crazy, and the pianos were totally wet. But at the end, it makes this special atmosphere in the music video. You see us playing with wet hair and with everything wet. And originally we wanted to do a different song, but we discussed a lot on that day. What should we do? And then at the end we decided to play "Rain on Me" from Lady Gaga, because it fits to the weather. And I think at the end it fitted together very well. The weather, the atmosphere of the video, it has this mystic look.
Yeah, very fitting for the setting to have that piece. So tell us, I know that you have a big tour. You've done a couple dates already, more to come. What is your preparation like that from? We've talked a lot about what people are going to see on screen when they're there, but are you doing music from all of your albums, or particularly sticking to this album? Tell us a little bit more about the show.
The show is going to it's in like 50 to 40 cities around Germany, but also Switzerland and Austria. And we start in October this year, and we are looking very much to it, because we have a lot of pieces of our album. Almost every piece we are going to play, but also some nice combinations. For example, Thunderstruck by AC/DC, we combine it with Bach, with a toccata by Bach. And during the summer we're going to develop and to practice a lot of the show. We have a light setting, we have costumes, and it's the first time that we do this kind of stage setup with the pianos, with different electronic pianos. And it's going to be very nice, I think.
So lots to look forward there. Let's talk just a little bit about your process. So do you feel like when you create, it's more spontaneous, or are you structured where you set up times the two of you are going to come together and you're going to work on new music?
We live in different cities. I
Okay.
live in Munich, and Pauline lives in Cologne, and that's why we meet like, for example, for a few days, then everybody goes home, and then we meet the next month or something like that. So it's always kind of blocked together
In those organized times. Okay. Do you have any favorite tools that you use? I know there's a lot of modern things, Pro Tools, all these different things, or do you like to write down your music?
First of all, we arrange the music with Sibelius, and
Okay.
we do with Logic. We do the recording with Logic, but our sound engineer, he uses Pro Tools and also Ableton for the live shows. So we always try different programs.
And, classical crossover, I think it's something it's evolved so much. And being Crossover Music Magazine, it's one that we focus on quite a lot. So I'm curious, what does that mean to you? Because I feel like it can be very broad depending who you ask. So Jennifer, when you think classical crossover, how would you share with the general public what that means?
Our way of doing classical crossover is always, I think, a mixture between the tradition and the pop music. we do it in different ways, but it always has this mixture. For example, if we combine AC/DC with Bach, we combine tradition and pop music, modern pop music. If we do a version of Elise by Beethoven, we do it with modern sounds. So it always gets this idea of classical music for the next generation. It has the tradition, but also the new sound. We combine it with groove. We have like drums on the album or in the live show, and this soundscape of modern music, so that you can reach people who like classical music, but also people who love pop music. It's our way of thinking, and it's not like in different categories for us. It comes naturally because we do these different genres.
Well, what about when it comes to your own compositions? How do you make that new crossover music, which we need because we can't just have, the beautiful music that we've had before. You're combining it with the modern. So when you're writing music, how are you doing that?
It happens differently. The piano music we write, it starts with a little improvisation, where we come together and somebody has a melody in mind, and we try the harmonies. We think about a structure, and we arrange it for two pianos. And if we do vocal songs, it mostly comes with a idea for the lyrics, and then we try different melodies. We try to find the hook, and from that we do the piano arrangement. So it's quite differently, but it always starts with a little idea, starting with the lyrics or the piano melody.
Well, thank you, Jennifer and Pauline, so much for talking to me. Obviously, your new album is out. You have this tour, so that's exciting. It's coming up. Do you have any other plans, maybe for Christmas or anything? Or is this the next year you're just going to enjoy finally getting Cosmos into the world?
Yeah, the thing is, if you did an album, it really it's a lot of work and a lot of stress, and we are very looking forward to celebrate it now, to have the concerts, and also to think about new plans. It's a very nice time at the moment because we did it, and now we are looking forward to what happens with this album.
Yeah, live in the moment a little bit and enjoy that. Well, awesome. Thank you again. And everyone, we hope that you will join us back here next time for another episode of the Crossover Deep Dive.